Now, Euro 2004 kicked off this weekend in Portugal, spurring what promises to be a bumper summer of advertising expenditure. Football and Olympics will dominate this year's sporting calendar, kick-starting a faltering advertising industry with big budget campaigns from the likes of Coca-Cola, Nike and Adidas. But what will the long-term impacts be? Joining us now is Scott Goodson. He's co-founder of StrawberryFrog. Scott, thank you very much for coming in here at CNBC Europe. So just how big is it, the Euro 2004 Championships?
Well, it's huge, and it's a wonderful injection into the advertising industry, a much-needed injection. And it's going to, I think, have lasting effects on the whole industry.
Do you think that this will really be the kickstart that the ad market needs? Fairly promising signs the last couple of months, but you think this is really going to do it and get the market going?
I think the big winners are going to be the smaller players in the industry, because basically the economic downturn over the last couple of years has been like a huge vacuum sucking the cobwebs out of the attic of the advertising industry, because it's been relatively traditional, and just jumping back into television advertising is not what we're going to see happening. We're going to see a lot of challenger brands come in and make use of a lot of untraditional media that's been very effective and successful as we move out of the summer.
Why are the small boys going to do better?
I think because we're looking at versatility and brands that are prepared to use other channels. I mean, from a consumer's perspective, advertising is not the way traditional big corporate agencies are built as silos. A person sees an ad on television, or they see PR, or what have you, it's one message. Smaller players are more nimble, and they're able to get the message out in unconventional ways that really give consumers multiple points to touch a brand. Case in point is a campaign that we've just done, or are doing, for Asics Tiger, which is a challenger running shoe brand.
Scott, does it say more, though? I'm interested to know, do you think the likes of you and me are a little bit tired of buying the big brands, and maybe we want to search for something new, maybe brands that not every Tom, Dick and Harry is wearing at the moment? Is this the trend we're going?
I think that, you know, I don't know if you remember, there was a movie called Crazy People back in the 1980s with Dudley Moore.
Yeah.
And that whole theme there was about authenticity in advertising. And I think that's a theme that's definitely coming back now. I don't know if it's so much about the big boys versus the small players. I think it's about the brands that dare to talk to consumers in an authentic way. And that gets back to the theme I said before, which is to find channels of communication that are giving consumers a surprise, an opportunity to interact with the brand. It's a bit like we want, in advertising today, to provide consumers with fresh yogurt versus pasteurized yogurt. They want something fresh, something new, something that's going to inspire them and touch them.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Is it that the consumers are a little bit fed up with seeing the big names advertising the product, and I'm certainly not going to mention any names, but it's a little bit of a case of, oh no, not him again, or oh no, not her again, and as you said, they're looking for something fresh. But why are these big players not able to talk to the consumer in the authentic way that you think the smaller labels can?
I think that, well, at StrawberryFrog, I mean, our approach has been to think across all the different media, but more importantly, to challenge people to think about a brand that makes them feel that it understands them. And I think the bigger brands just find it very easy to fall back into the old traditional television advertising, which as a medium is not as, let's say, inviting. I mean, we're living in a world today where we really see the merger of advertising, entertainment, and content. And that gives consumers an opportunity to create their own brands themselves.
Very good, Scott. I enjoyed that. Thank you very much indeed for coming. I'm sure the viewers did as well. Scott Goodson, who is from StrawberryFrog. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to preview what is set to be a very busy week for the United States and the UK economies. US inflation data is the key event, but will core inflation rise and confirm a Fed rate rise on June the 30th? Adam Chester, Chief Treasury Economist at HBOS, and Ian Gunner, Head of FX Research at Mellon Financial. They're going to join us after the break. Stay with us here on Power Lunch.
Our current market share is in the 10 to 12% range. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't continue